Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Israel. Waiting for one more brother to hop on, the brother Mayaka, and then we're gonna start the lesson. So, Lord willing, everybody having a blessful and restful Sabbath. So, want to get into something interesting, as y'all can see in the title, the new heaven and new earth, and the incorruptible bodies that's going to be coming after the resurrection when Hamashiach returns. So let me add the brother Zeke back. So we're going to give it some more time.
Everyone.
Going to give it some more time, let everybody join in that's going to tune in. And then we're waiting on one more brother, the brother Mayaka. So for those that's tuned in right now, Shabbat Shalom, we're going to start in a minute. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, how your brothers and sisters doing today? Whoever's on today. Hope everything is going well.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, we on the live right now.
Hey, okay. Don't surprise me like that. Okay, I see how y'all do. You know? Hey, man, shalom, Israel. You know?
All right, Shalom, we back. So once again, Shabbat Shalom to everybody that's tuning in, that's watching. So we're going to start in a few more minutes, few more moments. Just giving it a little bit of time. So yeah, interesting topic. Interesting lesson. You know, the new heaven, the new earth, the spiritual bodies, you know, what's going to happen and how, you know, the events are going to take place, you know, when Hamashiach returns. And then, you know, we receiving those new bodies and things of that nature. So it's going to be a pretty good edifying lesson, Lord willing. Because that's good to know. You know, we need to know that.
You upside down, brother.
Con, you upside down.
Oh, shoot. Hold up. Golly. It's a lot. I know I stay with some technical difficulties, man.
Trying to get it worked out is all good. So, yep, new heaven
thing today.
New heaven, Con, all praises. New heaven, new earth, and spiritual bodies. So we're going to start, and if y'all ready, we're gonna go ahead and start.
I got you.
Yeah,
We're
come.
going to open it up
Absolutely.
in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 40. We're going to start in that. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 40. And shalom again to everybody that's tuning in on this live. Shabbat shalom.
Con. I got
So
you.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 40.
Want me to bring it out?
Con, whoever got it, Con.
I know if you
Okay,
got it
Con.
good.
Alright, son. Con. It says, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 40.
Mm-hmm.
There are also celestial bodies and body terrestrials, but the glory of celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
Con, so there's two types of bodies. You have the celestial bodies, and that's pertaining to things that dwells in the heavens. So you have the spirits and the angels and the archangels and the cherubims, the seraphims, the 24 elders, things like that, the heavenly hosts. Those are the celestial bodies that don't dwell on earth. And then you have the terrestrial bodies pertain to the things that do dwell on earth, such as us men. So two types of bodies, and there's one glory on each: the celestial body and the terrestrial body. So keep going up in verse 41.
There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another
Uh
glory of the stars. For one star differs from another star in glory.
huh. Verse 42.
Kind. So also is the resurrection of the dead its
Hmm.
own. I mean, it's like it is sown in corruption and raised in incorruption.
Right. So the same way in the resurrection, our bodies go down to corruption, but it's going to be raised in corruption, into incorruption, Salakia. So the righteous that's going to be resurrected, they're going to be resurrected in glorified corruptible bodies, Salakia. So real quick, let's get more on that real quick. Somebody, Mayaka, get Daniel 12 and verse 2 real quick. Daniel chapter 12, verse 2. So the bodies will go down into corruption and be raised up to incorruption. So watch this. Daniel chapter 12, verse 2.
Uh, uh,
Because everything, our bodies now is corruptible. It can be destroyed. It's prone to sickness, to diseases, to viruses, pain and suffering. Our bodies now are subject to corruption. Our bodies right now are corruptible. But once we get resurrected and to be found righteous, we will have a glorified and incorruptible body. So you got that out?
absolutely, absolutely. So this
Con,
is the
bring
book
it
of
out.
Daniel chapter. Con. This is the book of Daniel chapter 12 and verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
Because remember, we're dealing with resurrection.
Con.
So read verse 3.
Verse 3. And they that be wise shall Salaki, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever.
Right, so it
But
says, as they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, meaning the bodies, our being is going to be glorified. And then it says, um, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever, meaning they're going to be shining bright as the stars. Because you see, the stars now, there's a glory within that. So the same way with our bodies, once it's the resin, it's going to be glorified. It's no longer going to be corruptible. It's not going to be plain and filled with darkness. It's going to be bright, glorified, and beautified. So let's go back to 1 Corinthians 15. And if y'all want to add something, y'all can too.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, so let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and read verse 42 again.
It says, so also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption.
Mm-hmm.
Slakia. It is raised in incorruption.
Mm-hmm.
It is sown in dishonor. It is risen in glory. It
Right.
is
So it is
sown in
sown in
wickedness.
dishonor,
Ka,
and it says it is raised in glory. So again, that's going back to
ka,
our bodies being raised in the glorified state after we've been purified and washed and made clean. Our bodies and our beings are going to be glorified. And then it says it is
ka.
sown in weakness, it is raised in power.
Weakness. Ka,
Right now,
ka.
our nature right now is weak. It's prone to
Yep.
anything. It's prone to death. So once we get resurrected and our bodies are refreshed and glorified, it's going to be indestructible. It's going to be raised
Ye are
in
gods,
power.
but ye shall die like men.
Exactly right. Like it says in Psalms, you are gods, but you're going to die like men. Because before, even the scriptures say that the Most High, He made man to be immortal. That's also being made in His likeness and His image. Because wow, the Most High don't die. The Most High is forever,
Yep.
and that's how He made man.
Ka.
So real quick, somebody get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 23. Real quick. Just to show it. The Most High made us to be just like Him, to live forever, and not to be subject to pain, to suffering, to ailments, diseases, and all kind of corruption. That was not the purpose for the Most High making man. But because
Wisdom
of
of
our
Solomon. What?
sin, because of death, it's in the world. Say it again.
Wisdom of Solomon. Which one?
Chapter
Somebody
2 and
get
what?
2 and 23 through 24.
2 and 23.
You got Ezekiel, you want me to get it?
I got it.
Okay,
Khan. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 23. For
Mhm.
God created man to be immortal
Mhm.
and made him to be in the image of his eternity.
Right.
Nevertheless,
So the Most High
God,
made man to be immortal and to be in His image, to be immortal just like Him. That was the purpose for man from the beginning. But in verse 24, keep reading.
nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it.
Right. So after the fall of man, that's when you have the institution of death. So now, because you have the institution of death, once Hamashiach is going to, make everything new, refresh everything, come back, death is going to be done away with. There's going to be no more death, because then man's going to be immortal again the way he was supposed to be from the beginning.
Yep.
So from there, let's go back to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 44. That's where we at. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 44.
This is verse 44. It is sown a natural body, and it is risen a spiritual body. There is a natural body, and there is a spiritual body.
Right. So it says it is sown a natural body. Right now we are in a natural earthly state. And then it says it is raised a spiritual body. Now Paul keep mentioning about being raised, because all these things are going to happen after the resurrection. For those that's dead, the ones that died in righteousness, these things are going to happen after the resurrection. Everyone that died in corruption, that was sown a natural body, and a body that was weak, is going to be made powerful, spiritual, and glorified. And that's for the righteous. That's not for every single body that's going to resurrect. Only the righteous remnant that's going to be raised is going to be raised in this state forever.
Remnant, not 2/3.
They're going to be raised in this state. So let's read verse 45. Matter of fact, before you get that,
so it is.
Salaki, before you read that, Salaki, my bad. Mayaka, get Philippians chapter 3, verse 20 real quick. Philippians chapter 3, verse 20.
You said
Y'all
3
can
and
hear me
20.
good though?
Con.
Come on.
Alright, bet.
Philippians chapter 3 and verse 20.
This
Because
is the book of.
understanding this, it's important for the kingdom of heaven as well. For the new heaven and the new earth the Most High going to make. You got it out?
Yeah. Con. You said 3 and 20,
20.
3 and 2, 20.
3 and 20.
Okay, this is the book of Philippians chapter 3 and verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the
Mm-hmm.
Lord Yahushua.
Mm-hmm.
Who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body,
Mm-hmm.
according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself.
Right. So it says what? Who shall change our vile body? So Hamashiach, once he comes back, he's going to change our vile body because right now we are defiled right now. Our body is defiled.
Yeah.
Something terrible.
Right. With sin and with death and all kind of things, our body's defiled. So once he returns and comes back, he's going to wipe away all of that, all the filth, and make us clean and whole and pure again. And this time we're going to be immortal, where we never going to be impure again. That's going to be forever. So it says, who shall change our vile body that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body? You see, so now once our body get refreshed, it's going to be made just like his. Because Christ, he lived forever. His body is glorified right now with the Father. So that's the same thing he's going to do to our bodies. It's going to be a body, a spiritual, incorruptible body made to dwell in the kingdom of heaven. At that point, we're no longer going to have an earthly body. And that's why scripture says that we're going to read as well. It says that what? Flesh and blood cannot enter to the kingdom of heaven. Because what? Even the kingdom of heaven itself is not an earthly thing. He's going to make a new heaven and a new earth. So if our flesh and blood cannot enter to the kingdom of heaven, so we understand the kingdom of heaven itself is not an earthly natural thing. He's going to make a whole entire new world, and this is going to be the old world. That's the real new world order, the ones he's going to bring. So it says, who shall change our vile body that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. So he's going to subdue death and mortality and everything that offends. He's going to do away with it and subdue it. And it's going to be no more in the kingdom of heaven. So that's why it's important to strive to seek Hamashiach, to seek the Most High, so we can put on that glorious body once he comes back. So let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and read verse 45. 1 Corinthians chapter 15.
Chapter
15 verse 45.
And so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. How be it that was not first which is spirit, but that which is natural. Which is natural, and afterwards that which is spiritual.
Right. So
the first man is of the earth.
It says, how be it that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural. Meaning what? The first man created, Adam, was a natural body, was natural. It says, and afterward that which is spiritual. So afterwards, after it's made new again, it'll be spiritual. And it says the first man is of earth, because why? The Most High made Adam from the dust of the ground. So he was made a natural body, an earthly body. And it says the second man is the Lord from heaven. So that second man, which is Christ, is from heaven. So he wasn't made the same way Adam was, from the earth of the ground. So Christ always had the celestial glorified body before he came on the earth, because that's the Son of the Most High. So once he resurrect us, and bring us back. He's going to make us just like him in a glorified state, a celestial body that lives forever, purified. So read verse 48.
Kind. As is the earthly, such are they also that are earthly.
Mm-hmm.
And as the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly.
Mm-hmm.
And as we have borne the image of the earthly, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly.
Come, we're going to bear
Now,
the image of the heavenly.
kind,
Come, you got it. Keep going.
kind. Now this I say, brethren, the flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God.
Mm-hmm.
Neither do corruptible inherit the incorruptible.
Come on, stop right there.
Behold,
So it says, now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. And then it says, neither doeth corruption inherit incorruption. So nothing that's corruptible, nothing that's natural, or nothing that's flesh and blood is going to be in the kingdom of the Most High. Because the Most High is going to make a complete new world that's not earthly. That's why, and we're going to read later on, but that's why Christ said that what? I'll go and prepare a place for you. Because he's going to bring a place that's not earthly. So because this place he's going to bring is not earthly, an earthly man cannot inherit that. It's too pure. It's too spiritual for flesh and blood to enter in. You had to be a purified and glorified to enter to the next world that the Most High got coming. That's coming with the elect for the righteous. So read verse 50 again. Oh.
Kind. It says, now this I say, brethren, the flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, neither do the corruptible inherit the incorruptible. Corruption. Behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not us all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
Right. So Paul said that.
Look,
he said, but he said, behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, meaning every single body is not going to die. You're going to have some people that's still living when Christ makes his second coming. Not everyone's going to die. So it says, behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. So even though everybody is not going to die, we still going to be changed. The righteous are still going to be changed until that next body. Now again, it's talking about the righteous because we're going to see the body of the wicked as well the further we get to the lesson. But explaining about the righteous, their bodies are going to be changed. Even if you're alive and Christ comes back, you're going to be changed just like that. And he's going to mention it in verse 52.
It says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trump shall sound, and the dead shall be risen. Shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Right. It says, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. You see that? The dead going to rise in that glorified state. Keep going. I'm going to cut you off. Keep going, Salaki. Verse 53.
No, you good. You good. For this corruptible must be put on incorruption, and this mortal must be put on immortality.
So right, it says, and this mortal must put on immortality. So this flesh and blood body must put on that which is immortal. And then it says, so when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the same that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Then it says, O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? Because again, at this time, the righteous are no longer going to be able to die. They can't die. Once they raise to incorruption, there's no more death. In the kingdom of heaven, there's going to be no more death because everything's going to be purified and refreshed and renewed and glorified. and really be made in the image of the Most High, to be immortal, just like we read in Wisdom of Solomon. So check it out, right? Hey, watch this. Read verse 35. Now check this out.
Oh, you want me to go back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 35. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 35. It says, and if they will learn anything, let them ask their
1
husbands
Corinthians 15,
at home.
chapter 15, that's 14.
Oh, select. My bad. 31st. My bad. It
About to start
says,
a whole
but
nother
some men will
conversation, bro.
say,
Right.
some men will say, how are the dead risen up? And with what body do they come?
Read that again. Watch this. Read it again. Watch this.
It says, but some men will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come?
Right. So now Paul is saying that, look, some people are going to ask, how are they going to be raised up, or in what body they're going to be raised up, right? And what body? Now, guess what? Baruch end up asking the same exact thing that Paul just said that some men going to ask. Baruch asked the same question, and we're going to read it, and it's going to explain exactly the bodies that's going to be, how they're going to be raised up, and what's going to happen once they're raised up. So check this out. If y'all don't know, Second Baruch goes to all of that, which is a good read. So we're going to read Second Baruch.
Also for the humble and meek, Salaki, to cut you off. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, for these type of books and these type of understandings, you gotta actually be humble and receive it, and meek enough to understand what this is talking about too. And this completes what the Bible is talking about. So
it goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. So remember, Paul said that some might ask how the body going to be raised, and Baruch asked the same question, and he was answered. So check it out. I'm going to read it. Second Baruch, chapter 49. I'm reading verse 1. It says, nevertheless, I will again ask from thee, O mighty one, yea, I will ask mercy from him who made all things. In what shape will those live who live in thy day? Oh, how will the splendor of those who are after that time continue? Will they then resume this form of the present and put on these intermeddling members? So you're asking, are they going to put back on the same exact body? And are they going to be subject to the same thing we're subject to today? The pains and the suffering and the entanglements of this body? It says, which are now involved in evils, and which evils are consummated, or wilt thou perchance change these things which have been in the world as also the world? Watch this, chapter 50, verse 1. And it says, and he answered and said to me, hear Baruch this word, and write in the remembrance of thy heart all that thou shalt learn. For the earth shall then assuredly restore the dead, which is now receives, in order to preserve them. Because once you die, your soul goes into a spiritual grave, and it stays there to the time of the resurrection. It says, it shall make no change in their form, but as it has received, so shall it restore them. And as I delivered them it unto you, and as I delivered them unto it, so also shall it raise them. So guess what? The same body you died in, it's the same body going to be raised back into. Now, if you was righteous, that same body is going to be glorified and purified and refreshed and incorruptible. It will no longer be flesh and blood, but you'll be in that same body in the spiritual, celestial, glorified state. So it says, I read again, but as it has received, so shall it restore them. It shall make no change in their form. So we're going to raise the exact same way, but in the glorified state. And guess what? If y'all read Josephus, if you know who he is, he was an Israelite from the tribe of Levi from the 1st century. If you don't know about him, he goes to the history of Israel, but he talks about the same thing of the resurrection and how the body's going to look and what state they're going to be in. So it's actually saying the same thing that it's saying here in Second Baruch. So check it out. So real quick, I read verse 35 again, 1 Corinthians.
Con. It says, but some men will say, how are the dead raised up? And with
Mm-hmm.
what body do they come?
Mm-hmm. So what body? So guess
Keep
what?
on.
It's going to be no, that's it. It's going to be the same exact bodies. It's going to be the same exact bodies, but in the glorified state. In the glorified state. Now watch this. So this is from Josephus. Y'all can see it. Y'all see this, right?
Yeah.
The verse of
Got
Josephus. And this is from the section where he talks about the discourse to the Greeks concerning Hades. Because he talks about Hades in the bosom of Abraham and also the resurrection. So this is what it says about that in verse 5. It says, this is the discourse concerning Hades, wherein the souls of all men are confined until a proper season, which God hath determined. We just read that second Baruch, where there's a place where the souls stay until resurrection. It says, when he will make a resurrection of all men from the dead, not procuring a transmigration of souls from one body to another, but raising again those very bodies which you Greeks seem to be dissolved, do not believe, because the Greeks didn't believe in the resurrection. So he's telling them that your soul's not going to enter to another body. It's going to come back in that same body, in that same form, but it's going to be glorified. It's going to be glorified. It's going to
hold
be
up.
immortal. Go ahead.
So not reincarnation?
Yeah, no, sir. No, sir. Not reincarnation. The Bible teaches resurrection. So,
No, you
Oh,
mean
okay.
regeneration.
Okay.
right. So, once the souls get resurrected, it's coming back in the same body, in a different state, though. It's coming back in a whole different
Yep.
state. But I'm going to go back to Second Baruch, because more than that. Baruch talks about a lot of that. So, Second Baruch, chapter
Bring it
50,
out.
and verse 3, it says, for then it will be necessary to show to the living that the dead have come to life again. So the purpose of that to show how the people that died on earth came back to life.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's showing how the people who died came back to life. The same way, I believe when you read in Matthew, I think it's the 28th chapter, something like that. When Christ resurrected, it says the graves were open, and the people that died, they resurrected too. So when he rose back up, it wasn't just him, but people rose with him, and they went to that holy city and they showed themselves to him. So imagine your let's say your grandfather died, or whoever, your cousin, your brother who was righteous, they died, and when Christ rose back up, they rose with him, and they came back to you like, yo, I'm back. I'm like, what the heck? But in a whole different form. In a whole different form, though. So it says, for then it will be necessary to show to the living that the dead have come to life again, and that those who had departed have returned again. And it shall come to pass, when they have severally recognized those whom they know now, then judgment shall grow strong, and those things which before were spoken of shall come. Chapter 51 is more than that. It says, and it shall come to pass, when that appointed day has gone by, that then shall the aspect of those who are condemned be afterwards changed. So now guess what? The ones who are condemned, they're going to be changed too. They're going to be changed too. It says, in the glory of those who are justified. For the aspect of those who now act wickedly shall become worse than it is, as they shall suffer torment. So if you was wicked and you came back, you'll be in a much worse condition than you were before on earth. So it'll be the opposite of what the righteous will get. The righteous will get a glorified body, a spiritual body. But if you're wicked, you'll get the opposite. You'll be in the even worse state than before.
Yeah.
See, Paul didn't get too deep into that.
there.
Say it again, Aunt.
I said that's sad business right there.
Yeah. So there's a lot that's going to happen in the resurrection when we receive different bodies or a different state about same bodies.
And at that point, you pretty much already know what it is.
Exactly. So verse 3, let's keep reading. It says, also, as for the glory of those who have now been justified in my law, who have had understanding in their life, and who have planted in their heart the root of wisdom, then their splendor shall be glorified in changes, and the form of their face shall be turned into the light of their beauty, that they may be able to acquire and receive the world which does not die, which is then promised to them. You see that? Remember, Paul said flesh and blood cannot enter to the kingdom of heaven. It just said that then their splendor shall be glorified in changes, and the form of their face shall be turned to the light of their beauty, that they may be able to acquire and receive the world which does not die. So you have to be in a glorified, purified state to receive the word which to come for the righteous. It's not going to be the same thing as we see today. It's going to be a whole different world in a whole different state. Glorified and purified and completely 100% righteous, and there'll be no more death. I'm going to keep reading. Verse 4, it says, for over this above all shall those who come then lament that they rejected my law and stopped their ears, that they may not hear wisdom or receive understanding. When therefore they see those over whom they are now exalted, but who shall then be exalted and glorified more than they shall respectively be transformed, the latter into the splendor of angels, and the former shall yet more waste away in wonder at the visions and the beholding of their forms. For they shall first behold and afterwards depart to be tormented. So in that day when the Most High, or when Christ make the severing, the division, those that did wickedly, they're going to see the righteous being transformed into their glorified state. They're going to see the righteous receiving their glorified bodies, their purified, incorruptible bodies. But they themselves are going to be turned to a worse state. So verse 7, it says, but those who have been saved by their works, and to whom the law has been now a hope, and understanding and expectation, and wisdom a confidence, shall wonders appear in their time. For they shall behold the world which is now invisible to them. That's the kingdom of heaven. Right now to us is invisible. We can't see it now. But in that day, once we put on that spiritual body, it says, for they shall behold the world which is now invisible to them, and they shall behold the time which is now hidden from them, and time shall no longer age them. So now, meaning what? In that new body, in that spiritual body, there's no more aging. You won't grow old no more. Get all broken down and your joints locking up, you losing your vision, losing your hearing. That's not going to happen in the next world. Go ahead,
start feeling 35. I was about to say you start feeling that 35 too.
Right.
Oh, this the beginning. This the beginning of the end.
But see, that's the ailments. That's the ailments, and that's the sickness of this natural body. We subject to that because we are in the corruptible body. So we're going to feel all that. People got cataracts and lost hearing. Like for me, for example,
gout.
Right, gout, right, high blood pressure, like all of that. Like for me, for example, I have a rare eye condition that a normal prescription of glasses won't work. But in the kingdom of heaven, that's not going to exist. That's not going to be there. So you're not going to, it says, and time shall no longer age them. It says, for in the heights of that world shall they dwell, and they shall be made like unto the angels. That's the same thing Christ said. You're going to be made like unto the angels. Remember that in Matthew? You're going to be made like unto the angels. So imagine their glory. Imagine how they look in their natural form, their real form. Glorified and pure.
Yeah.
So it says, and they shall be made like unto the angels, and be made equal to the stars. Watch this. It says, and they shall be changed into every form they desire, from beauty into loveliness, and from the light into the splendor of glory. Wait a minute. And they shall be changed into every form they desire? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You mean you're going to be able to change and modify certain...
Hey, man.
And be changed to a form they desire? That's for the righteous?
Man, I'm trying to tell you, bro. Y'all be like, hey, man.
I tell you, man, most high willing. Most high willing.
Most high willing. So it's letting you know this road to come. Look, it's not a game. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that. So it says, say it again.
I said you don't want to miss this.
Right, you don't want to miss this. Exactly. You don't want to miss this at all.
Look, I got something to add to that, bro.
Go ahead, you got it.
Not only do you not want to miss this, but this is why we take out the time to separate ourselves from people that speak their own doctrine. Separate ourselves from our worldly families. Separate ourselves from our worldly friends. This is all what we're doing it for. He that forsaketh his mother, his father, his wife, his children for the kingdom shall be rewarded, 100 times fold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So count the cost. This is what I'm changing my life for. Most I will, and I'm there.
Yeah.
Exactly. For something extremely better that's not even natural. You want to talk about supernatural? The Bible is supernatural. The Most High in Christ is supernatural.
Exactly.
The kingdom of heaven is supernatural.
Yeah.
So the supernatural is real. Go ahead.
Anybody who believe otherwise is a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who teach otherwise is a fool. And then if you follow that, then hey, man, so be it. You know, that's on you. Study to show thyself approved. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we gotta do out here. You know, like at the end of the day, we can sit up here and read the scripture and break it down till our face turn blue. You know, till the chariots fly. But at the end of the day, you know, never take our word for nothing. Go and look it up and read it for yourself and find out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? Don't just sit up here and listen to us. You know, go and read it for yourself. You know what I mean? Because you know you're not supposed to put trust in man. You know, so don't trust us. You know, just hear what we say and go research for yourself to see the truth. You know, you'll see for yourself what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, just
Con.
Yes, sir.
But that's why.
Yes, sir. And
go ahead, you got it.
Go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead,
all I was about to say, man. I did all that spiritual. Look, I did all that spiritual seeking and stuff. I did those 7 chakras and them crystal stones. That the Most High ain't in that, bro. I can tell you right off the bat, the Most High is not in that. Because each of those things that I studied for months on end. I didn't just jump from one thing to another and be like, oh no, God, no. I literally did it. So for all y'all that's trying to be in this truth and try to combine it with Hinduism and try to combine it with 7 chakras and the spiritual realm, stop doing that. You cannot do that. They're not the same. They will never be the same. Real stuff.
But this is why it's important. This is why it's important to like I was saying, follow the Most High and follow this way, because this is what's coming for the righteous. This is what's coming for the righteous. The kingdom of heaven in that glorified state, the incorruptible body, where you're gonna live forever.
Yeah.
Where you're gonna live forever. We gotta put this on. We gotta put off the corruptible and put on the incorruptible, so we can acquire that next world. And that next world is coming. That's, like I said earlier, that's the real new world order, where the Most High is going to make all things new, refreshed, rejuvenated, and completely purified. That's regeneration right there. That's what regeneration really is, making all things new again and refreshed. That's why Christ said, amen, I could get Matthew 19:28. That's why Christ said this in Matthew 19:28. Salaki, excuse me.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right. So Christ was telling his disciples that in the regeneration, when he sit on the throne, meaning what? Once he sit in his kingdom, because once his kingdom come, that's when everything is made new again. Our beings, the new earth, a new heaven. That's when all things are made new again. And the Most High says that. That's exactly why the Most High says that in Isaiah 65. And Malaka, get Isaiah 65 and 17, and Zeke, get John 14 and 2 real quick. I want that John 14:2 first. This is why Christ said this.
Oh, okay.
Watch this. John 14:2.
Okay.
Lovely precept right
John
here.
chapter 14 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
It says, in my Father's house are many mansions.
Read again.
If it were not be
Read again. Read again.
In my Father's house are many mansions.
One more time. One more time.
If in my Father's house there are many mansions.
Come on, man. It says, look, in my Father's house are many mansions. What you mean in my Father's house are many mansions? So there's a place. There's a place that Hamashiach and the Most High's Father's house, where he told him that in my Father's house are many mansions. Keep going.
If it were not so, I would have told you.
Right.
I go to prepare a place for you.
Right. Christ said, look, in my Father's house are many mansions. I'm going to go and prepare a place for you. This new place is not something natural. It's not nothing earthly that the Most High Christ is going to bring. He's preparing a place now for the righteous. And we can't see it. Because why? Once he comes back, he's going to bring it and wipe everything and bring that new place. Wipe the old away and bring that new place, that new heaven and new earth and that new city, that holy city. That's the regeneration right there. When all things are made new. Every single thing is made new. Read verse 3.
And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also.
Right. He says, look, if I'm going to prepare this place for you, I'm going to come back and receive you with me, so that way you can be with me where I prepare this place for you. And in that day, you're going to sit in his throne. You see that? When all things are made new, that new heaven, that new earth, that's regeneration right there. Let's further read that. Isaiah 65. You got it.
65 and what again?
17.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 17. For behold, I create new heavens and new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind.
See, he said, behold, I create new heavens and new earth. And the former, meaning the one we are in now, this place that we are in now is not going to be remembered, nor come to mind. Because we're going to be in a whole different world. You understand? A whole different type of world. Go ahead, Z.
I said like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that threw me
off. I said like Sodom and Gomorrah. We ain't gonna see that. We ain't seeing that shit no more.
Oh,
it's being burnt.
Yeah, you got you got to elaborate when you say that. You can't just say that.
Yeah,
you got to say something after.
Y'all crazy.
You can't just say that.
Well, if we be specific, like Sodom and Gomorrah in Egypt. There we go.
Like how destroyed, right?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, all destroyed. Y'all funny as hell.
Hey.
All right, let's get back.
What?
Hey, man, but I'm gonna tell you though, right? It's crazy because like we ain't gonna be able to be like, yeah, man, you remember that time in the old world?
Right.
We
Right.
ain't gonna remember none of the
Yeah.
hardship, none of that stuff. All praise to the Most High. Who would want to remember
Exactly.
this?
Exactly. We ain't gonna be thinking bad like, damn, I remember back on the old earth, I was doing this, I was doing
Yeah,
no.
Nah.
yeah,
That's not coming
Nah.
to mind at
You
all.
ain't
yeah,
gonna remember none of
right.
that.
You ain't gonna be thinking
Nah.
about
All
how
praise.
you was going through so much hardship, so much tribulations, and you were struggling in your natural flesh. You're not gonna be thinking about that at all.
Excuse me.
Kind.
We are in
All
the
praise.
new world. All praise to the Most High. So keep going at verse 18. We're
Yes,
gonna take
sir.
it down to verse 25 all the way through.
Verse 18. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For
Mm-hmm.
behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy.
Con, you stop
And I
right
will
there real quick. So he says, look, that
uh,
I create, that I make. So he's making a new heaven, a new earth. So the earth that we on now is not it. The heaven that we see now is not it. He's going to create a new heaven and a new earth. That's why it says, be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which he make. We know something better, something more advanced than we can perceive now. That's why, real quick, AZ, real quick, give 1 Corinthians 2 and 9. That's why Paul said this, because this place that's coming after this new heaven, new earth, the kingdom of heaven, no man can even perceive it. You cannot perceive what the Most High have
Kind.
coming for the righteous. So 1 Corinthians 2 and 9, this is real quick, then we're going to jump back. But
Kind. First
just to show the
Corinthians.
severity of it. Come on, you got
Okay,
it.
kind. Chapter 2, verse 9. It says, but as it is written, I have not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of men the things which God has prepared for them that love him.
Right. The things that's prepared for those that love the Most High. So no man have heard of it. No man have even thought about it or even seen it. So you can sit there and try to imagine what you think it's going to be like, how it's going to look, all you want. But the way you're thinking is not how it's even going to be. And you can think about the wildest thing. You can think about the wildest thing you can ever think in your mind. And even that don't compare to what the Most High have truly coming for those that love him. Imagine that.
Kind.
not enough. Your
The
mere
Most
mortal mind couldn't fathom.
Right.
You know what
Right,
I mean?
exactly. The more the mind can't fathom. You gotta think, for us that's striving to be righteous, that's striving to follow the Most High, we going through so much dang tribulation, so much hardships, so much
So much.
dang temptation. Listen, the same way as it says Romans 2 and 8, that the Most High going to show His wrath, His full wrath. We gotta think about that. The Most High going to bring His full wrath without mixture upon the wicked. Imagine on the opposite end, the Most High going to pour out His top-notch love without mixture for the righteous.
Did you want me to bring that out?
No, you ain't gotta bring it out. So the
Okay.
same way how there's going to be an unimaginable torment for the wicked, for the wicked, it's going to be an imaginable righteous place for the righteous.
Yeah.
And that's something seriously to think about. That's why it's well worth it to strive for that world, to strive for that new body. So let's jump back in Isaiah 65 and 18. Shalaki.
Verse 18. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people. And the voice of weeping shall be no more. Salaki. And the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying.
Stop right there,
There shall
real
be
quick,
time.
Salaki, because this is important.
Oh,
It
you good?
just hit me.
Yeah.
He says, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and her people a joy. Remember, in Revelation, we're going to get that too. But John said that he's seen New Jerusalem, right? Now check this out, because we're going to get it too. But I got to bring this back up. We're going back to Second Baruch. We're going back to Second Baruch. Check this out. Second Baruch is one of my favorite books. After reading this, it's fire. So watch this. Second Baruch. Let me find it real quick. I believe it's chapter 4. chapter 4 and verse 2. Matter of fact, I'm starting from verse 1. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna start on chapter 3 and verse 6. It says, Thy city and delivers up thy land to those that hate us. How shall the name of Israel be again remembered? Or how shall one speak of thy praise? Or to whom shall that which is in thy law be explained? Or shall the world return to its nature of aforetime, and the age revert to primeval silence? And shall the multitude of souls be taken away, and the nature of men not again be named? And where is all that which thou didst say to Moses? And the nature of and where is all that thou didst say to Moses regarding us? Chapter 4. It says, And the Lord said unto me, This city, meaning Jerusalem, shall be delivered up for a time. It says, And the people shall be chastened during the time, and the world will not be given over to oblivion. Watch this, verse 2. It says, Dost thou think that this is that city of which I said, On the palm of my hands have I graven thee? This building now built in your midst is not that which is revealed with me, that which was prepared beforehand here from the time when I took counsel to make paradise. So basically saying what? This earthly Jerusalem is not it.
Nope.
That's what he's saying. This earthly Jerusalem is not it. John said that he's seen New Jerusalem. So he's seen the actual Jerusalem that the Most High was preserving. He's seen that. I'll read again. He said, This building now built in your midst is not that which is revealed with me, that which was prepared beforehand here from the time when I took counsel to make paradise, and showed it to Adam before he sinned. But when he transgressed the commandment, it was removed from him, as also paradise. You see that? So Adam seen that paradise, that New Jerusalem. Even Abraham, it says, Look, and after these things I showed it to my servant Abraham by night among the portions of victims. And again, I also showed it to Moses on Mount Sinai when I showed to him the likeness of the tabernacle and all its vessels. And now, behold, it is preserved with me as also paradise. So Moses seen it, Abraham seen it, Adam seen it. They all seen that heavenly, that New Jerusalem, that new heaven, that new earth. They seen that. And they knew that this earthly one was not it. This only temporal. This whole earth is only temporal. It's not going to last forever. This is not it. This body is not it. This earth, this heaven is not it. This earthly Jerusalem is not it. The Most High have a way better one, the true Jerusalem, waiting to be revealed in that day.
Yes, sir.
He has a waiting for that day, for the righteous. So let's go back. So I had to bring it up real quick. I had to bring it up because we thinking that we're going to go back to that earthly land. No, that ain't it. That's not it. You mean tell me that's what the Most High got for the righteous? That's not it. No, sir. The Most High has a new Jerusalem coming for the righteous. Thus said the Lord. So let's go back. Isaiah 65 and 19.
And don't ever apologize for bringing it out, man. You know what I'm saying? You do that. You know what I mean? Don't be apologizing. You doing the Most High work. You know what I'm saying? Verse 19. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that hath not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat of the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of the tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble. For they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and the offspring with them, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and will they, Salakia, and will they are yet speaking, I will hear.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. For the wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock,
Mm-hmm.
and dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith the Most High.
So all that we just read is coming in that next life.
Mhm.
All that we just read is going to come in that next life. We're not going to be laboring all hard just to make some kind of little progress. We're not going to build stuff and it be overthrown. Hell, it said that what? It said for the child shall die 100 years old, meaning what? That little baby going to be living for a long time. And guess what? It's
Yeah,
still
no
not going to
bullshit.
die.
Right.
We no longer going to age. Age is not going to exist. In that next life, time don't exist. There is no more time. What is time?
No more working like a damn slave all
Right.
day, being away from your family and receiving next to nothing.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it
No
says
more building buildings for Esau so they can go in and live nice. You can watch their kids grow up and they go to college or they build, they build their big businesses and things like that. No, it's none of that. That's for us.
mm-hmm.
That's like it too, huh?
No, you're good. No, you're good. No, like you said, that's for us. That's for us. Look, it says, look, the wolf and the lamb shall feed together. Today, man, they ain't doing that. If a wolf sees a lamb,
the lion gonna be eating straw? Hey, a lion?
What? Exactly.
Man, look.
Exactly. Man, listen. A wolf see a lamb, look, that lamb is done.
That's over.
Yeah, it's over with.
Hey,
we
man.
put a curse on that.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a wrap.
It's over.
He's not gonna make it out of there. You know what I'm saying? So even the animals are gonna be made different. They're gonna be changed as well. Even the animals are gonna be changed. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock. So imagine you seeing a lion and the dang buffalo sitting there in the same field eating together. That's only coming in that next life. That's not gonna be here.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not gonna see a lion destroying a zebra. You're not gonna see that, man.
You know what I'm saying? Running together. Shoot, you must be running with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Go play with the animals, man. You know what I mean?
Right. They ain't gonna be wild no more. They're not gonna be wild animals no more. Terrorizing other animals. It says, they shall not hurt, destroy. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountains, said the Lord. It's going to be completely beautified and glorified and purified and righteous in all ways. Ain't none of that happening on this earth, in this old world. This old world's passing away. Like it says in the scriptures, it's waxing old. It's ready to go. Out with the old and with the new. So real quick, jump to chapter 66 and verse 22.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain.
Right, so that next heaven, that next earth is going to be there forever. It's going to be here forever. Once it comes, that's the full consummation of the times. That is it. You ever seen it on the old movies where it says the end? That's what's going to happen when the Most High Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen when the Most High brings me to Jerusalem. It's going to be the end. That's it. They live happily ever after. You know what I'm saying?
Roll them credits, shorty. Roll them credits, shorty.
Right, roll the credits. Roll the credits. They lived happily ever after. The end.
That's all, folks.
Hey, man.
Hey, yo. He said that's all, folks.
Curse the curse. That's all.
That's all, folks. That's it.
That's all, folks.
That's it.
Hey, executive produced by the Most High.
God, Let's get more on
Hey,
that.
man,
Let's get
all
some more on
praise.
that. All praise to the
Verse
Most High.
23. Verse
Never,
23. And it
no,
shall
that's
come to
it.
pass.
That's
Oh,
it, man.
Salaki, Salaki.
No, I want
Come,
Revelation 21 and verse 1. I
come,
want
God,
that.
God.
I got you. I got you.
What
Oh,
we got?
Verse
you a
21.
verse thief, precept thief. Okay.
All right.
I'm joking. Go ahead. You
You
got it. You
said
got it.
Revelations 21?
Con, verse 1. Con.
Con. It says, and I saw a new heaven, a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
Pause real quick.
And I,
Pause real
con,
quick. So the same thing that the Most High said he's going to do, that's what John saw. Remember, Revelations. John is seeing these revelations that the Most High says he's going to do. So he's seeing a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth, which we're on now, is going to pass away. That's going to be done away with completely. It's not coming back ever again. Keep going, Art.
con. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down
You
from
seen
God
what?
out of heaven. I saw New Jerusalem coming down from God out of heaven.
You see that? New Jerusalem. Why is it saying New Jerusalem? Why is it not saying I just seen Jerusalem? We just read something with root. That city that we see that's here today is not it. That's not what the Most High had for us, stored up for us. That's not it. That's only a shadow of good things to come. Remember, right? These are a shadow of good things to come. It's not it. This earth is not for us. We have a new Jerusalem coming, a new heaven, new earth. If we endure to the end, keep going, I like it.
Con. I'm going to start over. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, come down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
And real quick,
I heard the great voice.
Real quick, before we continue reading that, right? Let's jump real quick to 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. Because remember, he said, and the former earth was no more. It was passed away, right? Watch this. 2 Peter, not chapter 3, chapter 2 and verse 10. No, 3 and verse 10. I'm talking 3 and verse 10. 2 Peter 3 and verse 10. Salaki, whoever got it.
This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
Wait a minute.
And the elements come.
Read that part again. The what?
and in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
This earth here, this heaven is going to pass away with the great noise. Read on.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
Pause real quick. So look, again, John understood that the old earth and the old heaven is passed away. It's telling what's going to happen to this earth. When the Most High bring that wrath and destruction, it's telling what's going to happen in the day of the Lord. Will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heaven shall pass away with the great noise. It ain't coming back. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also. So every single element made on this earth is going to pass away with the earth. It's going to melt with the earth. And the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Keep going, verse 11.
Excuse me. Verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversations and godliness?
Right. So if you understand that this place is going to be dissolved, you know that once something is dissolved, you can't redo that.
It's done.
It's done. It's over with.
Yep.
Hey, this ain't no Play-Doh, no clay.
Exactly. Now a lot of people believe that the earth's going to always, this earth is always going to be here. No, it's not. This earth that we're on now is going to be gone. It's not always going to be here. It's going to be completely a complete new one. A complete new one. So we
verse 12.
Yeah, come on, verse 12.
Verse 12. Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going down to verse 13.
Come. Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Right. So according to his promise, we're looking for a new heaven, new earth, because this one's going to pass away, and everything in it. This new one is only going to be set up for the righteous, only. And guess what? Once again, flesh and blood cannot inherit that. It's not going to be an earthly kingdom. You have to be in the purified, glorified, spiritual state to receive that. If you're not, you can't enter in. You won't make it in. So check it out, right? I'm going to jump to Enoch chapter 90. Because guess what? It's saying the exact same thing. Excuse me, Shalaki. This is Enoch chapter 90 and verse 28. Watch this. It's confirming what the Bible is saying. This is, and I stood up to see till they folded up that old house and carried off all the pillars and all the beams and ornaments of the house were at the same time folded up with it. And they carried it off and laid it in the place in the south of the land. And I saw to the Lord of the sheep brought a new house, greater and loftier than that first, and set it up in the place of the first, which had been folded up. All its pillars were new, and its ornaments were new and larger than those of the first. Then the old one which he had taken away, and all the sheep were within it. So this new heaven, yo, he's going to make it even better. He's going to make it even better than this one. Continuing on, verse 30, it says, and I saw all the sheep. Remember, we are the sheep. Israelites are always referred to as sheep, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So it's talking about us. Now watch this. It gets better. It says, and I saw all the sheep which had been left, and all the beasts on the earth, and all the birds of the heaven falling down and doing homage to those sheep and making petition to and obeying them in everything. So meaning what? The Most High has made this new heaven and new earth, this new house for the sheep. And all the other animals, meaning what? The nations are going to bow down and pay homage to the sheep. You see that? And this new heaven, new earth, that's when the Most High is going to set us back on top and have the nations paying homage to us and obeying us in everything. Right now, it's not our time. Because this is not our home. We are like vagabonds in the earth and pilgrims in the earth. We just passing by. That's all we doing. We passing by until we receive that new heaven, that new earth, that glorified state in all things. Then in that time, we're going to be set back up, and all the beasts of the field and all the birds are going to pay homage to us and obey us in all things. Who don't want that, man?
Shoot, after this life, man, come on. Like, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? And you know, we all got backstories. We all come from something, man. And I'm gonna tell you like this, right? After the hell I've been through on this earth, I'm pretty sure we all can relate. You know what I'm saying? Man, if you don't want that, if you want anything less, you a fool. You a fool. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. You a fool, man. Cause there's nothing here. There's nothing here. And literally, when Yahweh shall come back, it's literally gonna be nothing here. You know what I mean? But there's nothing here for us. You know what I mean? This world is not for us. This is our punishment.
These are conversations we used to love having.
Yeah, you can't. It's like you can't make a comfortable bed out of a bed of nails and be like, yeah, this is it. I made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't it.
Con. I'm gonna keep going. Verse 31.
All I want to add.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
All I wanted to say is, man, me and brothers used to talk about this all the time, bro. Like, we be trying to imagine what's in the kingdom, but we not. But we know what's for damn sure in the kingdom is we a family, man. We ain't got to worry about our wives being out of order, disrespecting us, being the actual
Con,
pillar of rest to help me, the kids being in
con,
subjection, everything is being in order and glorified. And you ain't got to worry about it. That would be a peace of mind at the end of the day. So go
Shoot, we
ahead, you
ain't
got
even
that
got to
out.
worry about going off. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even got to worry about going off. You know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean? Because
The
everything
new
that
covenant
the
in our
commandments
hearts.
gonna be
Yeah,
embedded.
kind.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Come. So I'm gonna continue on in the same chapter, in verse 33. It says, "And those sheep were all white, and their wool was abundant and clean." See that? That's the purifying. It says, "And all that had been destroyed and dispersed, and all the beasts of the field, and all the birds of the heaven assembled in that house. And the Lord of the sheep rejoiced with great joy, because they were all good and had returned to his house. And I saw till they laid down that sword which had been given to the sheep, and they brought it back into the house, and it was sealed before the presence of the Lord. And all the sheep were invited into that house, but it held them not. And the eyes of them were all open, and they saw the good, and there was not one among them that did not see. And I saw that the house was large and broad and very full." That's what's coming in the
All
next
praise.
life. All praises to the Most High. That's what's coming in the next life. A much better place than this one. It's going to even look better. Slagia. It's going to even look better
Yep.
than this house that we in now. This current house, this current earth that we in now. This not it. So go back out
Nope.
to Revelation 21 and pick up where you left off at.
Gotcha. I bet. I left off in I think 3.
Mm-hmm.
Kind. And it
Matter of
says,
fact, read verse 2
and I
again
heard
real
a great
quick.
voice out.
Read verse 2 again.
Okay,
Slagia.
bet. Kind. It says, and I John, it's like, and I John saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for his husband. I mean, her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a great voice out of the heavens saying, "Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men,
Mm-hmm.
and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and
Mm-hmm.
God himself shall be with them, and
Mm-hmm.
be their God,
Con.
and God shall wipe." Con. Keep going.
Keep going, Con.
Con. And God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death,
Mm-hmm.
neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. All praise to the Most High for that. For the
Mm-hmm.
former things are passed away.
Stop right there, real quick. So it says the Most High going to, in that time, in that new life, the Most High going to wipe away all tears from their eyes. There ain't going to be no more death, no more sorrow, or no more crying, or no pain. We experience all that in this life, but in the next one, it's not even going to exist. That's why Paul said, "What? Oh, death, where's thy sting? Where's your victory?" Because in that time,
Yeah.
that's it. Pure happiness, joy, and righteousness. Purely. So look. Remember, it says what? It says, Salakia, neither shall there be any more pain. Because remember, and that new body is going to be indestructible. It's going to be immortal. You can be able to feel pain no more. Like I said earlier, no more ailments, no more gout and joint pains and glaucoma and cataracts and you know what I'm saying? No more losing
See
hair.
headlines. Yeah, look, he said at the same time. No more receive headlines,
Hey,
man.
yo,
Go out
nah,
here, shorty.
boy.
You know what I mean? Hey, I get the kingdom of heaven, man. Hey, look, I get the kingdom of heaven. I'm having all the hairstyles. I'm having mohawk. I'm having locks, cornrows. I'm having some gangsters. I'm gonna have the
This man
D'Angelos, the straight
funny.
backs. Trying to tell you, man. I'm gonna have a ponytail, all that. I ain't playing no games. I'm gonna have singles.
This
You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't playing around.
man said single.
Man.
Hey,
Look, I'm gonna take it back.
yeah.
I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna get the little bush with the pot on the side. I'm gonna take it back. I don't look. I'm gonna have.
You know,
Oh nah.
you know what I'm saying?
This
No,
man funny.
no more
This
heart
man
disease.
funny.
No more heart disease. No more high blood pressure. No more. Hey, no more
Hey man.
obesity. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, none of that. None
Hey,
of that. You know what I'm
all
saying?
praises.
You're gonna be good out here, sure. You know
Oh
what I mean?
snap! All that stuff gonna be gone. It ain't gonna exist no more.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where we at? In verse 5?
Oh man.
Look, it says for the former things are passed away. So look, verse 5.
Verse 5. Come. And it says, and he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful.
Right. So look, he says right because these words are true and faithful. The Most High make all things new. The animals, the trees, the grass, the flowers, man, everything is going to be made new. The earth, the heaven, all made new. Every single thing is going to be made new and refreshed and regenerated. Verse 6.
Yes, sir. Verse 6. And he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is what's that artist?
A thirst.
A thirst.
What's that word right there?
A thirst.
A thirst of
Thirst.
the fountain of the water of life freely.
Now watch this real
He
quick.
that overcomes.
Real quick, jump to verse 10.
Verse 10, it says, and he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and shewed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descend out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, and her light was like unto the stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal.
Right. So this
and
new
had
Jerusalem,
a wall.
real quick, this new Jerusalem is going to be beautified, glorified, and purified. So that right there is letting you know now that this earthly Jerusalem is not going to be in the next life, in the next world. He's making a new Jerusalem. And Christ's going to come back and to receive the righteous that's supposed to be there and bring them to that place, that new Jerusalem. Keep going on.
Yo, we couldn't even keep that. We couldn't even keep this Jerusalem even if we wanted to, man. Hey, yo, I wouldn't even want that joint, bro. It's so defiled over there.
Right.
Man, oh my goodness. I don't even want to go into that. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So,
right.
You want me to keep on going with 12?
Come.
All right. He said, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, not one, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Let me say that slowly, not everybody.
Come. The kingdom was promised to the Israelites. That's why he's going to have 12 gates with 12 angels and 12 names, which are the names of the Israelites. The 12 tribes of Israel. Keep going.
On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof, and the city length four square, and the length is large as the what's that? The breed. What's that? That vitals.
What verse you at? 16. It says,
Hold
"And
on.
the city lieth four
Yeah,
square,
16,
and the
16.
length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed,
Breath. Kind
12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall
You gotta do
thereof,
that lesson one day.
144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is of an angel." So he measuring the city was using a whole different type of metric system to measure the kingdom of
Yep.
heaven that we don't know yet.
When you
But in
find out
that
what them
day,
furlongs is,
in that day, we're gonna know exactly what it is when we see it. So I'm gonna keep reading because we're almost done. It says, "And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass." So imagine seeing the city. It was pure gold like glass, meaning like you can see yourself in it. You can see your own reflection, like glass, or like it's almost transparent. That's some pure gold right there.
everything pure.
Everything
Everything
pure.
pure.
Like precious stones, jasper, onyx, and crystals, and pure gold, the purest gold you could think of.
All the precious
Listen,
stones, all the precious metals you can think
yup,
of is in the kingdom.
it's in the New Jerusalem. Look, it's showing you this ain't no
New
earthly
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem coming. It's gonna be
Nah.
way better than what we can even imagine it. So it says, verse 19. It says, "And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones," like Zeke just said. It says the first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third, dang, I can't even say it, chalcedony, if I'm saying it right, Salakia. The fourth, an emerald.
Kind.
The fifth, sardonyx. The sixth, sardius. The seventh, chrysolite. The eighth, beryl. Listen, I don't know what this is, man. I know these some precious stones, man. I ain't never heard of these. I'm being real. I'm being real. I never even heard of these. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Neither.
It says the earth beryl.
Where you at? 20.
20, verse 20. The eighth beryl, the ninth a topaz, the 10th a chrysoprasus. Come on now. You can't pronounce the name of it. The 11th adjacent, the 12th and amethyst. Come on, man. I can't pronounce it.
Amethyst, that purple.
Amethyst.
Yeah, that's that purple stone. Amethyst. Yeah.
Also, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly
he told
what
you he's
that
into
is.
the chakras, boy. He's in the chakras.
Oh man.
Hey. I told you.
It says in verse 21, it says, "And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass." Yo, like imagine the streets. The street we have now is made out of asphalt and tar.
Filled with that. Yeah.
Say it again.
Ugly. I said ugly.
It's asphalt and tar. But the kingdom of heaven, it says the streets is going to be made with pure gold, as it were transparent glass. That's crazy. That's in the new heaven and the new earth and New Jerusalem. Verse 22.
Yes, sir.
It says, "And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it." So we ain't even going to need a temple no more, because they are the temple.
Yep.
"And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there." Come on now, no night? What is that? You can't even imagine that. You can't imagine that. What is that?
That's crazy.
It says, "And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. So the righteous,
Man, shut the book and drop the mic, Ock.
right, right, right.
Shut the book and drop the mic. There's no reincarnation into this kingdom, bro. If you was defiled on this earth, you is not getting there.
Right, that's it.
Straight like that.
Only those who was found written in the book of life, once they transform into that new body, that changed, glorified state, they are the ones who are going to inherit that new heaven, that new earth, that new heavenly Jerusalem. And flesh and blood could not enter in. So imagine that the Most High going to make all this, He going to wipe away all this filth, this old world and everything in it, and going to make something completely new and refreshed and purified and beautiful forever. And that's for eternity.
Forever.
That's for eternity. So I got one more. Everybody want to say something? You want to comment? Because I got one more preset.
No, do your thing.
No, bring it out.
Con. So last one, we back in Second Baruch once again.
Where you at?
In Second Baruch, chapter 52, verse 7.
You said, say that again, chapter what again?
52 and verse 7. Second Baruch, chapter 52 and verse. Wait, you ready to get it?
Yeah,
Con. Second Baruch, chapter 52 and verse 7.
You want me to read it too?
Con, you can read it, Con.
This is the book of Second Baruch, chapter 52 and verse 7. Make ready your soul for that which is reserved for you, and prepare your souls for the reward which is laid up for you.
Read it again, man. Such a beautiful precept. Read it again one last time.
Make ready your soul for that which is reserved for you, and prepare your souls for the reward which is laid up for you.
So get yourself ready for that new world. Get your soul, get your spirit ready for that new world. So that way we can be found worthy to receive that new body, that new incorruptible glorified body, and to receive that new purified, brand new, refreshed world, that heavenly world, that heavenly kingdom. So Lord willing, y'all follow through. Y'all got some understanding of the new heaven, the new earth. The Most High going to make all things new, even our bodies, if we found righteous in that day to receive it. So Lord willing, this was edifying. Lord willing, y'all continue to enjoy y'all Shabbat. Praise the Most High. Glorify Him in all things. In the name of His begotten Son, Yahweh Shah. And that's all I got, unless y'all got something on that.
Hey man, what I want to say is, just keep pushing hard, man, and endure to the end, because we ain't got much time. This world waxing colder and colder. It's getting crazy and crazy. If people up here waxing that thing up, I know we probably talked about it before. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta beware of false prophets, because there's many of them in the last days. You know what I'm saying? And they come like family. They come like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the truth. You know what I mean? But beware, man. Beware. Don't enter at the narrow gate. Don't go through that broad gate. Don't go through that broad gate. That's all. And also, say Shabbat Shalom, to everybody that's watching, and may the Most High bless you and your families, man.
Come.
And I'm gonna reiterate, bro. When we come into this truth, each month you should get more wise. Each month you should be following the camps. You shouldn't be watching videos. It should be a length of time that you should watch videos. Shit, if they're not bringing no substance, if all they're doing is cursing out the white man, all they're doing is bringing false doctrine, stop watching them, motherfuckers. I'm sorry, stop it. But if you want to get further, in your knowledge, and you want to get into like the different books, the different understandings, and each month you get, and you start to get curious about those other books, you gotta humble yourself down, get a good understanding on the Bible first, and then you go into those hidden books. Because there's a process, and there's a just like school, just like there's a master's, a bachelor's, and a PhD. That's how the Most High rocking with people that's humble and meek. You feel me? So, you know, you got it, man. Keep it
Hey,
pushing.
hey,
Trappist long, you know. Have a good day.
hey, I ain't gonna lie, right? I thought she was about to Suge Knight him. I thought she was about to be like, yeah, if you tired if you tired of seeing the
Nah.
videos where they banging the Esau, come on over some artists, y'all.
Come on. With
Hey,
that,
hold up, hold on, hold
with
on.
that,
Come on.
Shabbat Shalom to everybody that's tuned in. Shabbat
Hey,
Shalom.
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 Shalom, shalom,
Much love for
shalom.
y'all, man. Much love,
All right.
and fellas, lead your households, and sisters be a pillar of his rest. You know what I'm saying? Shalom.